Assalamualaikum and a very good day. So today I'm going to present about plastic recycling process. So first thing first, little facts about plastic. So as we all know, plastics have been around for a little over a century, yet they've become part of almost every aspect of our lives. From children's toys to food packaging, plastic materials are a ubiquitous part of 21st century life. In fact, in roughly 70 years, there has been 8.3 billion metric tons of plastic produced, with around 6.3 billion metric tons of that becoming waste, and only 9% of that waste has been recycled. So there's a variety of reasons for this, and while our plastic waste continues to grow, advances in technology and changes to the way we consume are helping to make it more efficient and effective. So next is the importance of plastic recycling. Firstly, plastic recycling is important as it can reduce pollution across ecosystems. So, greenhouse gases are a major reason for the increasing pollution levels in our environment. They are the driving factor behind the climate change, which is a pressing issue which the whole world is striving to mitigate today. So, during the manufacturing of plastics, petroleum is burned. This produces huge amount of greenhouse gases. So, recycling plastic instead of manufacturing it from scratch, hence indirectly reduces emission of hazardous greenhouse gases. The next importance of plastic recycling would be to help conserve natural resources, and also it requires less energy. So, manufacturing of plastic from scratch requires much more energy compared to producing products from recycled plastic. The energy saved can be used for other important requirements in the economy. Also, the manufacturing process requires natural resources such as water, petroleum, natural gas, and coal as a raw material. Hence, plastic recycling saves precious natural resources. Next will be it can ease the demand on fossil fuel consumption. So millions of barrels of crude oil are used to fuel the demand for plastics in a single year. Recycling plastics is the most sustainable option in order to reduce fossil fuel consumption. Since oil is a finite natural resource, recycling plastic and recovering as much raw material as is possible, the consumption of crude oil can be reduced significantly. Besides, plastic recycling also saves the energy required to produce new materials. And lastly, the importance of plastic recycling also it can save fast depleting landfill space. So right now, landfill sites are fast diminishing. The growing human population means that habitable land is becoming more and more valuable with each passing day. So proper waste management through reusing and recycling of plastics can save significant amount of landfill space. 7.4 cubic yards of landfill space can be saved by recycling 1 ton of plastic. Next, we go on to the plastic recycling process. So the first step would be collection and distribution, where the collection of post-consumer materials, like for this case is plastic or plastic bottles, are collected from homes, businesses, and institutions, and it can be done by either local government or private companies, with the latter often a popular option for businesses. And another option that can be considered is by taking plastics to communal collection points, such as designated recycling bins or facilities. The next step would be sorting and categorizing, where there are several different types of plastic which need to be separated from each other by the recyclers. And further to that, Plastics might be sorted by other properties such as thickness, their uses, and also their color. And this can be done by the machines that is equipped at the recycling plant. And this step is an important step in order to increase the efficiency of plants and avoid the contamination of end products.
So for the third step of plastic recycling process is washing. So firstly we remove some of the impurities that can impede the operation or completely ruin a batch of recycled plastic. And then the impurities targeted in this step commonly include things such as product labels and also adhesive as well as dirt and also food residue. And last but not least, while plastic is often washed at this stage, it is important to remember that this doesn't take away from the importance of ensuring plastics as free from impurities as possible before disposal and collection. So the fourth step is shredding. The plastic is then fed into shredders which break down into much smaller pieces, and then the smaller pieces, unlike from plastic products, can be processed in the next stages for reuse. The resized plastic pieces can be used for other applications without further processing, such as an additive within asphalt or simply sold as a raw material. And then, breaking down the plastic into smaller pieces also allows for any remaining impurities to be found. This is especially true of contaminants such as metal, which may not have been removed by washing, but can be easily collected with a magnet at this stage. So the second last step or the fifth step is identification and separation of plastics. So the plastic pieces are tested for their class and quality. And then first they are segregated based on density, which is tested by floating the particles of plastic in a container of water. And then it is followed by a test for what is known as the air classification, which determines the thickness of the plastic pieces. It is done by placing the shredded plastic into a wind tunnel, with thinner pieces floating while larger or thicker pieces stay at the bottom. So the last step or the sixth step is extruding and compounding. So the final plastic recycling process step is where the particles of shredded plastic are transformed into a usable product for manufacturers. Shredded plastic is melted and crushed together to form pellets. Then it is worth nothing that it is not always possible to compound all types, classification, and qualities of plastic at a single plant. So different grades of plastic are sometimes sent to other recycling facilities for this final step. So for the recyclable type of plastic, we can see that we have seven types, which is the first one polyethylene terephthalate, the second one polyethylene, which is high density, the third one is PVC or polyvinyl chloride, the fourth one is polyethylene, which is low density, the fifth one is polypropylene, the sixth one polystyrene, and last but not least is bisphenol A and others. So this is an overview of the recyclable type of plastics. So this is the example recycled plastic product, which is we can see here is the sunglasses, which made by Norton Point company. So Norton Point is an eyewear brand based on the island of Martha's Vineyard. So Norton developed the first line of eyewear made from recovered high density polyethylene or known as HDPE ocean plastics. So Norton Point give back 5% of net profits to organizations like the Ocean Conservancy to improve the global cleanup and remediation practice towards stemming the rising tide of ocean plastic. So from the picture, we can see that this is the product of Norton Point made from the recycled plastic product of the ocean. So that's all from us. Thank you.